are having a hard time dealing with this breakup, and I will give you 5 reasons it's not over. Right now it's kind of hard to read the signs from your ex. You feel that they moved on, you feel that you've done so many mistakes, you feel that it's never going to lead anywhere. Don't get discouraged, don't give up. Listen to those 5 reasons it's not over with your ex. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
First of all, it is very important to understand the concept of unfinished business, because the way you feel about the relationship can also be the same on your partner's side. And it's applicable to all of my clients. Their exes was still in love when they decided to end the relationship. And the reason they ended the relationship is because they felt it was not working. And so it has nothing to do with the compatibility, nothing to do with the feelings. It's just the idea that they need to escape from this relationship who either hurts them or where they felt they were in a relationship that prevented them from being themselves, from being fulfilled or achieving any of their goals. The good thing about those things is that they can be reverted. And so see it as just a pause in the relationship, a gap where you both need to address what was broken. But your story is not finished. What you've started needs to continue, and your ex will perceive it at some stage because they will feel the loss. And we'll discuss in a second how. But it's very important for you to understand that for your ex, even though they took the decision to end the relationship, if he or she was in love with you, will at some stage feel the idea of, what if we continued this? Because I feel like we've started something and it's worth pursuing it. Second reason is you are respectful. You are creating an image of you where they feel you act with maturity. You didn't try to fight, or if you did, you stopped after a short amount of time. If you've been harassing your ex for 6 months, you can stop watching this video. I think it's going to be over. I think your ex will not give you a second chance. If this breakup was very difficult for you, I gave you a really hard time. Sorry, my cat just left from the cat flap. Of course, they will see you with more respect. They will feel like, okay, I have in front of me someone who acts with maturity. I always tell my clients to use this in a turn 10 years time approach. Whatever you do right now, whatever you're about to do, think of yourself in 10 years and look at it thinking, would I have been proud of myself? And so if you're about to bombard your ex with messages, before you do it, before you have this urge to do it, think of like, what would my self in 10 years would think about that? Whether you, I don't know, try to deflect or dismiss anything of the pain and don't want to work on any of your insecurities, or whether it's about, okay, let's step outside of my comfort zone, let's really address those things. I don't know, see a therapist, see someone to help me. What are those 2 options will have the biggest impact in your life? What are those 2 options where you feel, if you look at the situation in 10 years' time, you feel like, I've made the right choice? Sometimes, and you can use this technique in every single aspect in your life. It could be in work, with your family. Anytime you are about to do something stupid, ask yourself this question. The thing is, what you have to understand, and people really underestimate this, is the image, the last impression that we leave on our partner. It's very important for you to market yourself in a way where your ex will replace a negative image of yourself, someone where they feel it's not working, to an image of someone who seems to be, not yet, because you need to bring them to that understanding, but who seems to understand, who seems to be in the right direction, just at the start of the journey, but about to start the journey. Of course, your ex loves you, still loves you, and at the end of the day, he also or she also wants you to succeed. So it's really a question of how can you match this with your behaviors, with your attitude, and how you convey yourself, how you convey conversation, or when you go no contact, how you can show your ex that you are respectful. Third one is creating that space so they can miss you. It's important to leverage that time apart to reflect. If you go, and you should go no contact at some stage, if you want to get back with your ex, because it creates that the condition for your ex to miss you, to be nostalgic about you. Your ex will never be able to replace those moments that you had together. Nobody will be able to take them away. From them, from you. These moments that you shared, those happy memories, will still be there forever. The problem is that soon after a breakup, that's not what they're thinking of. They're thinking about all the problems. They're thinking about all the shortcomings. They're thinking about all the arguments, all the fights. Once you remove yourself, once you remove the other part of the problem, i.e. you, for now, this is when you have space for people to reflect about the happy times, about the happy memories. This happens all the time. And remember, just think about any relationship that you had. Even the ones where you felt you broke up with that person and it was mutual, it was not clicking, you had a sort of easy breakup. I'm sure a couple of weeks after the breakup, a couple of months after the breakup, you had this flash of, oh yeah, I remember when we did this or when we did that. With fondness. Not with resentment or anger, with fondness. That's very important for you to understand that when you create that space, your ex will have the ability to miss you. This only applies if you have had a respectful breakup. If you're constantly on your ex's back, if you're constantly trying to reach out, if you're constantly trying to get them to validate, to answer, if you're pulling them towards you, it's going to be very hard. They will never be able to miss you. Fourth one, you are in control. Breakup, when you are if you are the dumpy, on the dumpy side, it's very hard because you feel like you pulled the rug underneath your feet, right? And you didn't take the decision, perhaps it came as a shock. And so there's some time for people to realize that at this stage, fighting won't give you the results or the outcome that you desire. I've been in your shoes trying to convince my ex that, give me a second chance. I understand what you meant. That's not the point at this stage. The point is to accept their decision. Right now, what they want to hear is they want to be with someone who's respectful, who's mature. And now is your time to take control of what you can control. You can't change your ex's mind right now. So give up on this strategy because it doesn't work. Now focus your attention on you. Focus your attention on what you can improve. Because getting back with your ex implies that you need to improve on things. So is it about self-esteem and confidence? How can you improve on those? What are the books that you need to read? Who do you need to speak with? If it's about lifestyle, maybe you need to work a little bit less. Maybe you need to find a job. Maybe it's about managing your money. Maybe it's about your lifestyle. Maybe you need to do some sport. Maybe it's about your health, mental health, physical health. Do you need to register to a gym? Do you need to, find a new hobby? You need to seek therapy. You need to speak with someone like myself to address some of these areas in your life that you felt were not important at that time, but now feel like this is the key. This is where the answers lie. Maybe in the past, when you were in a relationship with someone, it was okay. Unfortunately, it took that breakup for you to realize the pain, for you to realize that I don't want this anymore. don't want this for me. I don't want to end up in the same situation. I don't want to reproduce the same patterns again and again. And of course, it took a breakup, and it's not ideal. But use this pain as something that will bring you into the movement, to take action, to step outside of your comfort zone. Now it's your time to choose action over self-blame. Now it's time to reframe the narrative of I should have, I could have, to I'm gonna do it. And if you're not clear about what you need to do, get some help. I used to go and see a therapist for 12 years. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm actually quite proud because it helped me to grow, helped me to learn. And I still see part of my job as a therapist who's also a mentor. So don't feel that seeking help, getting some help from your bestie, a therapist, whoever you trust is bad. It's actually good. You will be amongst the people who realize that in life, we are better when we are as a team, when we have someone to support us, to bring the best of ourselves. 5, your ex will regret. Of course, it's something that they will never admit. I've never seen, and I help dozens of clients every week to get back with their ex. They're very successful, but never their ex admits that they were wrong. But you need to put them in a situation where they feel, oh, I screwed up. When they took the decision to end the relationship with you, they made an assumption that you won't change. They thought years in and years out, it's always going to be the same, right? Fortunately, during the relationship, you failed to take action. So now with the pain, now with this realization that you can sort of act on it, your ex will regret. Your ex will change the perception they have. They're not going to be convinced in one day, just grabbing coffee with you and feeling, oh wow, he or she's amazing now, I need to get them back. It takes many steps. It's a process. One way to change, or the only way to change the belief system, is to be confronted with that reality a lot of the time. And gathering data, consciously and unconsciously, that would challenge our thinking process, our reality. The problem is when we see these data points early after the breakup, we have tons of cognitive biases that will push them, because that's not what we want. We are not receptive to that at this stage because of the resentment, because of the pain. Because that when we end a relationship, we just want to enjoy being on our own. But after a while, when resentments have gone, when we feel a bit lonely, when we miss the relationship, when we feel nostalgic about what we had, this is where we are receptive. Where we feel like, oh, I'm open to being convinced. And it's not about the words that you're going to say, it's not about the letters that you're going to send, it's really about who you are. And the better position you are, the biggest the growth, the easiest it will be to convince. You actually won't have to convince. My most successful clients, I don't coach them on what to say and what to do on WhatsApp, because we spent so much time at bringing them to the place, to a place of growth, to a place of self-reliance, respect, confidence, that when their ex see that person, they don't have to be convinced, they just want to be with that person. And actually, the roles are reversed, because in that case, and again, it's really about what you do. In that case, the dumper will run after you and will be the chaser if you do the right things. So remember, at this stage, right now, you have to prioritize yourself. If you are meant to be together, and I don't know whether you're meant to be together, that's not my area of expertise. But if you are meant to be together, you will be confronted to a time where you will be reconnecting. Will it be enough for you to get back together? Not always, but there's always a time after no contact where people reconnect. if you are meant to be together. And if you find yourself struggling to deal with the breakup emotionally, if you're in distress, seek help. Don't stay alone. Because a lot of people, they are struggling to deal with the breakup and they don't address the pain, they don't want to talk about the pain, and that prevents you from both getting back with your ex but also moving on and being happy. Don't let this breakup become a trauma. So if you feel in distress, find someone locally if you want to speak with someone and have another opinion. There's a link in the description where you can have a chat with myself or Elizabeth. We'd be more than happy to help. Your ex, remember, that's so important. Your ex wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. So do your part and expect your ex to do theirs. And we'll assess whether that person is the right person for you. Because sometimes as we grow so much that we feel that we don't necessarily want that relationship because we've evolved. And when the assumption that our ex evolved, or the assumption that your ex felt that they evolved and you haven't, as you grow and as you mature and as you learn about more about yourself, attachment style, being more secure, or using effective communication, you'll have the feeling that you outgrew them. And that's why you end up being chased by your ex. And sometimes people have a few cases where my clients would reject their ex at the end of the process because they feel like, actually, I don't want this anymore. I'm done with that kind of thing because I've done so much, I've grown so much that that's not what I want, and I feel so happier right now. If you want to watch other videos like that, don't forget to subscribe. It also helps me a lot because I'm a growing community. We are a growing community. It's a growing channel, and I'd love to get your support to help me grow and share the word. If you also know someone who would benefit from seeing this video, don't hesitate to share, because sharing is caring. I'll see you next time. Bye.
For a long time, get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.